In my experience with previous companies, in the co-creation phase, they focus a lot on the technical aspects of the co-creation, but they leave till the very end what we call the adoption of the technology. Meaning that if the co-creation, at the end of the co-creation, you usually evaluate if the objectives of the project has been successfully achieved or not. And then in case, okay, we have reached the successful solution, now let's talk business. Let's see how there can be an economic exchange or a value exchange, okay? Because in order to have adoption, not necessarily there has to be an economic exchange. There can be things like, for example, they can become like a reference center. They can invite other potential customers. They can be other potential interactions that are not only economic exchange. And for some companies, sometimes it's even better to have a first customer or first reference site that just hoping to get a lot of money that never comes. Okay, so you always have to balance, or you can combine more economic and. At any case, they leave these conversations to the very end because, oh, we don't know if this is going to work, or we just want to get to the end because they will fall in love with the final solution and they will be craving for buying it. That doesn't happen. Okay, that doesn't happen. So if you want to transition between pilot stage and uptake deployment, when any exchange of value that you want to have, it is much, much, much better to anticipate those discussions while the project is still running, because then there is a kind of obligation because of the contract to talk, okay? Not necessarily only a technical level, that's what we suggest, but also a business level, a commercial level, a strategic level. So don't make the mistake of leaving all these conversations till the very end, because there is no official framework of collaboration, let's call it this way, then everybody's very busy, there are so many other projects, and then the whole thing fades away. Because especially if it is a public organization, you know that they have annual budgets. So if the project ends in April, and that amount is not in the annual budget, they cannot. The other day I was talking with a guy in charge of economics and say, if it is not in the budget, it doesn't exist, okay? But what you can do is to anticipate that, and you can make a reserve in the budget, I mean, the challenger, as we call it. So you need to bring these topics. You need to anticipate this discussion, these exchanges in advance. You need to agree on a price tag if there is going to be an economic value. And of course, you will want them to pay the maximum, and they will like to pay the minimum. But if there is a truly understanding, you should get to that level. And the sooner that they know what is a fair price, what are the first conditions, the earlier they can put into their budgets or into the decision makers table or whatever. Please anticipate these business conversations as soon as possible, even if the solution is not ready, because there is always a time in the co-creation project that you know is going to work, even if you have not finished it, okay? And if you are a techie, if you're a geek and that's not your business, please tell that to the people that is their business in your organization, okay? Because otherwise, and that's what we hate, we see that there's a lot of time, effort, money wasted, and we don't want